Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Talk the Cutler platform. It's good to see you all. It's so good to see everybody. This is September the 24th. The year is 2020, and we are glad to be here. Glad about it. Glad that we've had a great day, an exciting day, a victorious day, and it's been a good day. It's been a good day all along, all around. And guess what? If the day hasn't been as good as you need it to have been so far, you still got a few hours to work on it, given the fact that you may be on the East Coast. You still got a few hours to work on it. And guess what? Wherever you are, if this day hasn't been as good as you want it, tomorrow is going to get better. There's always hope for tomorrow. Let's see who's going to be the LTTC VIPs this evening coming into the chat room. Looks like it's going to be the two Audreys, Lady and Annette from down in Georgia. It's good to see you. Oh, wow, wow. Lady, Annette, and Sonia, you all are the LTTC VIPs for this evening. Do me a favor as you're coming in the room, go ahead and click that thumbs up, that like button. If this is your first time here, make sure that you share this page, share, like, comment, subscribe. On your way in, it's better to go ahead and like, so that way it tells YouTube, hey, I like the comments, I like the content that guy is talking about, that he's sharing here on YouTube. I'm excited about this evening. I really am excited because I have something uh, that's that I really want to talk about, and I want to get it out to all of you all. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. And of course, you know the saying, you know how it goes. I got 1,800 seconds to be with you in your living room, your dining room, your den, your kitchen, wherever you are. If you're sitting up in bed, I'm there with you. If you're driving your car listening, I'm with you. Now, if you decide to pull over and watch, that's fine. But we're going to do this thing in 1,800 seconds. And then because it's Thursday, you all know how we do. Monday, on Tuesday, we look at our motivational and inspirational sources from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. When we get to Thursday, we look at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I say it all the time. Saturday, Saturday is all day your way. You can use that as a conversation starter, as part of your meditation, or whatever you choose to use it for. That's up to you. But you know that we are focusing our conversations on this book. Hey, 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 it's so good to see all of you all. We're focusing our conversation on this book, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. I hope that you have the book. If you haven't, go over to Amazon and get it. Go over to gbcutler.com and get it. And do me a favor, if this is your very first time joining us, just come on into the chat, start talking, and say, hey guys, this is my first time, and let's just talk about it. Introduce yourself to the other Let's Talk the Cutler platform family members. They're friendly. They're not going to push you out of the room. They're going to embrace you. They're going to talk to you because we are family, and family is what we do here. Family is what we do here. We build community, we maintain connectivity, we encourage each other to keep their heads up, keep their hopes up, to stay safe and stay sane. So it's good to see all of you from North Carolina and Georgia and Maryland and Virginia and Florida and New York and Texas and California. It's good to see so many of you. In fact, what I see from my perspective is that there are some of you in the chat, and then there's some of you who are just watching who are not necessarily in the chat. Come on in the chat room. Come on in the chat room. We only have 1,800 seconds to be in the chat room. We're all going to do you good. We're not going to, we're going to treat you really good. But it's so good to see you all. What I want to do is to go ahead and get started with our lessons for, or our sources of motivation and inspiration for this evening. It's so interesting that we are here tonight having this conversation because I think in life we get to a point where we feel a little discouraged, a little despondent, and we wonder, wow, what is going on? I mean, considering, the fact that, and I just to put in my plug and my moment of honor for, as I remember the life of Associate Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was the second woman to join the Supreme Court. I certainly just want to pay tribute and homage to her. Um, what a wonderful champion of justice she was. What a wonderful champion of justice she was. And it is going to be incredible to watch her feet feel. Come on, so y'all, let's talk to Cutler family members. It looks like there are a few new subscribers, so you all chit chat with them, make them feel good. And again, remind them, we only have 1,800 seconds to do this. We have 1,800 seconds to do this. I'm in your living room, your kitchen, your dining room with you. Wherever you are, I am there with you just for a little while. So again, we're reading from, well, not necessarily reading, we're just focusing our conversation on this book. It's my seventh book. It's available on Amazon and over on my website, www.gbcutler.com. But that aside, let's turn our attention to three. What we do each Tuesday and Thursday, we look at each Tuesday and Thursday, we look at three sources of motivation and inspiration from the book. The book is in chronological sequence. There's a saying for every day of the year. So it's good to see you all. Let me not waste your time. I want to get started because by the time we leave here, it's good to see you all from South Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from North Carolina, all over the place. It's so good to see you all. I know one of my friends, Auntie, sent some people over, so it's so good to see all of you. Thank you for being here this evening. Again, if you haven't done so, please go ahead and like this conversation. But I want to read to you. I want to read something to you. In my last book, in this book, for September 23rd, I have this quote, and we talk about these quotes. This quote says, "Life is like a gym where we pull up ourselves and push up our brothers and our sisters." Life is like a gym where we pull up ourselves and we push up our brothers and our sisters. I'm telling you, I don't want to waste your time because I want you all, by the time you leave here, I want you feeling better about yourself, feeling better about life, a little bit better than you did when you came. So to think that life is like a gym where we pull up ourselves and push up our brothers and our sisters, at its core, this quote is about self-improvement. It's about becoming better. It means that I have to encourage myself, and not just encouraging myself as in terms of getting out in the gym and really working out, but this one is meant to encourage you to get there in the gym of life and work on becoming a better you. And just like you get in the gym, and you might not see transformation overnight, but what I believe is that you become better as soon as you set your mind to become better. You don't see transformation overnight. It starts on the inside. And the same thing is true with us. When we decide that I want to be better, I can become better. There is more inside of me, there's greater inside of me. As soon as you reach that resolve, better has already kicked in. And you don't necessarily have to see the results, but just know as soon as you reach that resolve, you are better than you were 5, 6 seconds ago. So better is certainly a journey. So as soon as you think it, you become it. As soon as you think it, you become it. When you know and you think that you can become better, especially when we go to the gym, when you know and think that you can become better, you stop eating the junk, you stop eating the garbage. And I don't mean food, but what I do mean is that you stop ingesting negative thoughts. You stop digesting negative opinions. You stop inflicting pain on yourself. And you stop plotting a course of self sabotage because your mind says, I can do better. So, the same way, if you were tending to your physical body, you would stop ingesting and eating all of the junk. Then, when you focus on becoming a better you, let go of all of that stuff that means you no good. The negative thoughts, the negative opinions of others, this whole notion of self sabotage. I got to let all of that stuff go. And you will resolve within yourself that there is a more excellent me on the inside. And that more excellent me that's on the inside is who the world deserves to see. And until you decide and you realize there's a more excellent you down on the inside, the world will never see it. And the world deserves to see the more excellent you that's down on the inside. And so then, the same way that you would join this program, here's what you do. You surround yourself with positive people. The same way when you go into the gym and you see other people there working out, you do the same thing in life. Surround yourself with positive people, people who can help you clear the clutter out of your life, people who are on the same track as you are on, people who are working on the treadmill, people who are working on the elliptical just like you. And what you do, you rehearse these reaffirmations that are designed to build you and not break you. So the same way that you don't eat junk food, you don't eat junk food when you're working on a better you. But what you take in these positive affirmations that are designed to build you up and not to break you down. And while you're working on you, here's what's going to happen. You'll become a little more discriminating about the you that you allow people to, about the people that you allow to come into your life. because I've got to be better. So if I've got to be better, it means my whole sphere of influence, my whole circle has got to become better. If I'm becoming better, everything that is attached to me is going to become better. Everybody that's attached to me has got to become better. Because you know what happens? Here's what happens. You're just like you're in a gym. Sometimes your muscles and your body will reach a plateau and you say, wow, I can't lose any more weight. Or my muscles have done all that they can do, and you feel like you've reached a plateau. And it's at that point when you need somebody to spot you or put the weights over you and just sort of help you lift them. The same way it is in the gym, these other gyms, that's how it is in this gym that we call life. Every now and then, you're going to need somebody to spot you. You're going to need a workout partner because guess what? When you're in a gym, let's suppose that you're doing pull-ups. When you're doing pull-ups, you can only go but so high. And one of the things that I wrote in another book, I think it was, I wrote this in this book, When I'm Overwhelmed. I wrote similarly in terms of lifting myself and pulling myself up and justifying why we sometimes need people in our lives. You all listen. If I am the only source, if I am my only source of deliverance, then I can never rise above myself. Let me say that again. If I am my only source of deliverance, if I'm the only deliverance that I have, I'll never rise above myself. But in this gym called life, here's what we need. We need people so that when I pull myself up as far as I can go, I got people who will get underneath me and undergird me and push me up and make me go just a little bit farther. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about their positions in my life. I need people in my life. I need people in my life who would do three things. And that's what we need, you all. We need people in our lives who would do three things: who will push, who will pull, and who will pray. And I'm not concerned about their position in my life, but I'm concerned about them knowing what to do based on the position they hold in my life. So if you're in front of me, I need you to know how to pull me. If you're behind me, I need you to know how to push me. And wherever you stand, I need you to know how to pray for me. All right. So when I'm working out in this gym called life, I need people who could push, pull, and or pray. You got to know how to pray. So there's a push or a pull, but there's an and for pray. All right. So then when we're working out in this gym called life, y'all, listen, you pull yourself up as high as you can go, but make sure that there are people underneath you that undergird you and push you and push you up. All right. How do y'all like that? How do you feel about that tonight? Just reassess and reevaluate the people in your life and decide within yourself that you're going to become a better you. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I know this is September. It does not matter what happened January, February, March, April, May, June, July, or August. You can become a better you starting today, September the 24th. All right? You can definitely become a better you. So then, all right? 1,800 seconds. We don't have a whole lot of time. Again, I'm not here to waste your time, but I'm here so that when we sit down and we have this dialogue or this conversation, we feel a little bit better about ourselves and about our positions in life. And not only do we feel better, not only are we inspired, but we're motivated to become better. That's why I wrote this book. It's called Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. We need both. We need the feel good, the inspiration, but we need the motivation to set us on a course to become better. All right. So we're riding along this highway and we're going to become better. All right. So let's go on. If you have your books, you can reference it after this conversation or sometime tomorrow. But let's go on to our conversation, the one for September 24th. The one for September 24th says, you all listen to this. Lord, have mercy. Learn to think and live outside the box before you are finally placed in a box. Learn to think and live outside the box before you are finally placed in a box. You will be in a box soon enough one day, but while you are alive, as long as you don't hurt anybody else or harm yourself, the book says tap into your God-given creativity as often as you can. That is one of my favorite, and I know I wrote it, and it's 366 or more of them in there. There's some bonus quotes in there. If you have the book, you'll see. But this has to be one of my favorite, one of the ones that moves me, and I'm inspired by it every day. live and think outside of the box as long as you can. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, think and live outside of the box, because one day we will be put inside of a box. What am I saying to that? Let's talk to Cutler families. If y'all haven't do it, please go ahead and like the conversation. What am I saying? I'm saying don't be held hostage by anybody else's limitations or their restrictions of who you can be and who you can be and who you can become and what you can do. Don't you be held by anybody's limitations of you. Because many times their assessment, their evaluations of you have very little to do with you, and it has more to do with them. And they'll put you, let me tell you all, people will put you in a box, cry at your funeral, and then dance in the spaces that should have been yours. They'll put you in a box, cry at your funeral, and then dance in spaces that should have been yours, spaces that you should have occupied. But you learn how to take, and that's why we are here tonight. You learn how to take the reins of your own life, how to take the bull by both horns, and you learn how to plant or plot your own course. Learn how to plot your own course. I'm telling you, nobody knows what's inside of you better than you. So don't you let anybody restrict your ability to think and live outside of the box. You know what's inside of you better than anybody else. And I get it. I listen, you all, I get it. I understand that there are many times when we have people in our spaces, and then there are people in our circle, and they are coaching us, and they're cheering us, and they're pushing us on to greatness. But you be very careful. I said it in the earlier quote. You be very careful, and you be very discerning about the restrictions, about people who will put restrictions on your life, and people who impose these glass ceilings. They set a limit for you, telling you how high you can go. No, absolutely not. You don't get to tell me how high I can go, because when I wave my hands across my head, there is nothing up there, which means I can go as high as I want to go. And the same is true for you. We ain't got long to be here. I got to make these moments count, y'all. I'm just trying to save your lives. There is nothing over your head holding you down. You can go as high as you want to go. So you've got to be careful, you all. Be careful, be very careful about the people sometimes who will push you in the wrong lane. They'll push you in the wrong lane and jump back and let a vehicle hit you. I'm not talking about natural or the physical life. I'm talking about in your emotional world, in your psychological world. You be careful about the people that you give free course and free reign in your life. Check your circles. I did a session some time ago that says check your circles and check the people in your circles. You don't want anybody pushing you into the wrong lane, and then they'll jump back. And they'll cross their hands and they'll act like you did something to hurt yourself when all the time it was a homicidal act on their part. No, you don't need people like that in your life. Absolutely not. So you take charge of your life and you learn to think for yourself, and you see where you are yourself. And then you realize I can be beyond. I can go beyond where I am. And you know what, you all? Learn to take a picture of where you are. Learn to take a picture of where you are. And if you don't like the picture of where you are, guess what? Go back to the drawing board. Somebody just put in the chat, go back to the drawing board. Yeah, if you take a picture of yourself and you don't like the picture, just go back to the drawing board and draw a whole new you. Draw a whole new you. And sometimes when you trust the people in your life and you say, I can't see myself beyond where I am, trust them enough. Trust them enough when you have been discerning and discriminating, and you can trust that person. Say, here are the crayons, here are the pencils, here are the ink pens. I need you to draw a picture. Absolutely. Go back and restart. Go back and restart and say, hey, I need you to draw a picture. Take a picture of me and show me where you think I can be. Because it is okay for other people to have vision for you and your life. It is okay. It's okay for other people to have vision for you and vision of your life, as long as they're not trying to restrict you. You all, guess what? It's just like having small children, And if you have small children or young people in your life, do not stifle their creativity. Do not stifle their imagination. Because guess what? Children are the ones who show us how we can become the very thing that we dream. They show us that dreams really do come true. When I was a little boy, y'all, we didn't have a whole lot. But I dreamed of a day. I dreamed of a day when I would one day be able to travel the world, when I would one day be standing in university halls teaching, when I would be one day giving back and sowing into the lives of little boys and girls who look like me. Dreams come true. Who knows, if my mother would have stifled my creativity and stifled my imagination, I wouldn't be sitting here talking on a platform called Let's Talk to Cutler. But let's nurture the gifts and the talents of the people in our lives, especially the young people. Don't stifle anybody's creativity, because I don't want anybody to stifle yours. And it doesn't matter whether in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, you continue to think and live outside of the box. Continue to think and live outside of a box and dare to be different. Dare to be different. You are not required to be a cookie cutter version of what someone else envisions you to be. You're not expected to follow the template that somebody else has set for you. You are not expected to follow the mold that somebody else developed for you. In fact, what you should do is break the mold and create your own. So that way, when you break the mold and you create your own, here's what happens. When people start marking the perfect man or the perfect woman or looking for an example, let them look for you. Let them look for you. You be the example that people are looking for that says, hey, you can think outside of the box. You can live outside of the box. You can live beyond your creativity. You can live beyond your imagination. Guess why? Guess why? Because you are wonderfully, wonderfully made in an image of one that's greater than all of us put together. Absolutely. I love the comments that are going on tonight. Don't let anybody snuff your candle or blow out your flame. Live out, I'm telling you all, live outside the box. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. Absolutely. Break the mold and you become the model. Break the mold and you become the model. Guess what? I said this before because I'm going to shift over now to this whole spiritual element. When God wanted to change the world, I believe when he wanted to change the world, that's why he brought you here. You were not here just because of your mother and your father's love. No, that is not the only reason you're here. But you're here. You are here because God wanted to change something about his creation. So you don't have to follow anybody's mold. You don't have to follow anybody's mold, but you set a pattern so that others can follow yours. All right, let's go on. I told you all we only have 1,800 seconds. I hope you all, are you liking this conversation, this comment? If you are, please do a thumbs up and make sure that you share. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. And if you have, then make sure you ring that little bell, because that way you'll get notification whenever I'm online. All right. I don't have much longer. We got a few more seconds. All right. I want to go to September 25th. I want to go to September 25th, our quote for that. It's so good to see all of you. It really is. September 25th says this: if we would acknowledge and thank God when it seems to matter the least, he will be there when it matters the most. Lord, have mercy. If we would acknowledge and thank God when it seems to matter the least, he will be there when it matters the most. And listen, you don't have to become a religious zealot or a fanatic, but life goes better with God in it. Life goes better with God in it. What was I saying when I wrote this? This is to remind you to take care of the whole entire you. And I know that we're human and we are flesh and blood, but you all, so many times we only focus on our human physiological needs. And we forget to take care of the holistic us, including our spiritual welfare and our spiritual being. But I wanted to remind you, I didn't want to turn this into a revival, but I wanted to remind you to prioritize your spiritual health as well. You've got to. And I know that during this quarantine, some of us are just nibbling to keep our spiritual development alive. But I don't want that to be said of the Let's Talk to Cutler family. I don't want you to just nibble, but I want you to engage in a balanced spiritual meal, engage in meals that will meet the spiritual needs, just like your physical needs, just like your financial needs, just like your professional needs, just like your educational needs and goals. And I want you to be completely and holistically well. And I know this message. I know this particular one is based in faith, but I can't help believe that if we prioritize God during these moments that seem to matter the least, God will be there when it matters the most. He will show up when it means the most. And I know some of you all didn't sign up for this revival, but it's true. If you seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, in other words, if you place God first in your life, take care of the things of God, and God will take care of the things that pertain to you. I'm telling you, I've lived long enough to know that that's true. I've lived long enough to know that that is true. Listen, and I'm telling you this is a no judgment zone. This is a no condemnation zone. You don't get condemned by anybody else, and you don't get to condemn anybody, not on this platform. And you certainly don't get to condemn yourself either. Not here. No, 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 no. Not here. You don't get to condemn yourself here. So my point is that if you have faltered along the way and you have failed to take care of the holistic you get up right now and keep on going. Don't you sit in the place of condemnation. You get up and you keep right on going. And if this area is not for you, then you work on your mental well-being, you work on your psychological well-being, you work on your emotional well-being, you work on something that gets you to a holistic approach to who you are. But I encourage you, place God first. And here is what happens, you all. You will reach a determination. You'll reach a resolve and a determination that says, you know what? I'm going to live. I'm going to live no matter what life brings. I know we're dealing with so many things going on in society now, but when you focus on all of who you are and you make God a priority and you say, I'm going to live, my heart will be well, my soul will be well, my mind will be well, my body will be well, my family will be well. All that concerns me will be well because I am absolutely determined to live. That is my resolve. And when you get to that point, and listen, we only got 120 seconds left, but here's what I want to do. When you get to that point and you focus on the whole you and the holistic you, this is how I want to close, because you will reach a determination that says, I am determined to live in the midst of economic crises, in the midst of social and racial tension, in the midst of all kinds of disparities. I am determined to live. And so I want to share this with you that I wrote some years ago, some time ago, and it comes from my book, Who We Once Were. Listen carefully, listen to this. I've enjoyed being here with you all, and I hope you've gotten just as much out of this as I have. And if you've enjoyed this, again, make sure that you do a thumbs up, make sure that you share this conversation, and please invite people to come back, because I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock, again, for only 1,800 seconds. But I promise you, I'm not wasting anybody's time, but I'm here to save your life, help save your life as I try to help save mine. Just like somebody threw out the lifeline to me, I'm trying to help throw out the lifeline to somebody else. Wow. All right. That one almost filled me up. Yeah. I'm determined to live, you all, and I want you to be determined to live as well. I'm going to close out by reading this. A poem that I wrote. It says, determined to live. Meandering through a maze, all in a daze. My soul is ablaze, but no one sees that I'm trying to live. Listen, can you hear me? Panting breathlessly, helplessly, hopelessly, because I really want to live. Running through a crowd, blindly into a cloud, crying so loud, but no one hears that I'm trying to live. Please, would you help me? Running hurriedly, fearfully, frantically, because I truly want to live. Contemplating my past, thoughts running so fast until at last I pray for salvation. Pause in expectation, ponder with exhilaration, proceed with determination because I love life and I am determined to live. This is Cutler. Thank you all so much. I've been with you for the past 1800 seconds, and I hope you feel better about you more so than you did 1800 seconds ago. Here is what we say every Tuesday and Thursday on our way out. We're here because we're building community, we're maintaining connectivity, and I'm encouraging you to keep your heads up, and more than that, keep your hope up. You stay safe, you stay sane, and I will see you next Tuesday as we continue driving and riding along the highway, and we're going to read those billboards to better. Have a great evening.